All right, we're going to go over the Battleworld updates. This is for Battleworld 2.0, which is going to have Sentry. And along in the short of it, it looks like Brimstone is going to be very important in this. Just a gameplay video just came out earlier today about Brimstone wrecking everything in war. But this is essentially going to be the Astral, the Battleworld team. Even though it doesn't have a Battleworld call out, this is going to be Battleworld Astral 2.0 right here is going to be the Brimstone. And then the other thing too is Blue Marvel is an epic character, is not a mythic character, not a mythic character. And there's a lot of nodes that say no mythics. So I think Blue Marvel is going to be very important. And then also I think a lot of the raid teams are going to be important. So if we go look at this, this is an amazing screen right here. When you go into roster, this is like the normal. You hit the squad tab, and you can kind of see everything important. I think these raid teams are going to be important. Infestation, Hellfire Club. Then we got Thunderbolt and Vigilante. I think those are going to be important teams from the way that I read some of the nodes and information here. Also, I do know that there's a lot of things that are under works, like this blog here was delayed because they're changing a lot of the details. Boylon has a most excellent video on the data mines, and I think the information that he covered there based on the information he had in the data mines is excellent. I do suspect a lot of it's in the works. Like there's a lot of speculation about spec ops and things like that, and I know that spec ops is going to be a thing, but it's going to be very different. What am I trying to say there? Very different than the way it was before. And I think some of the details on that are still being worked out. And my suggestion before going crazy and upgrading things is to see how that materializes before going and dumping a bunch of resources into a team that maybe you don't like Secret Warriors. I think the smart thing would be to wait and see how that works out. But anyways, let's get into what the official information here is on the Battleworld updates. We know that everyone has many questions about the future of Battleworld, so today we're handing over Marvel Strike Force community blog keyboard, TM, boy, they're kind of being cute here, I like that, to our game designer for the special blog. They will walk us through the plans for the new Sentry Battleworld. This guy's, I hope he's not taking credit for Battleworld 1.0. This does look like an improvement from Battleworld 2.0. And which is the Sentry City. So what we can see right here is going to be 4 days, 3 days that are going to have waves. And then we've got the boss day. Now, it looks like there's a ton more nodes than there were before. And that's why I think a lot of the raid teams are going to be important. As with our previous Battleworld, the best Sentry City is a series of 3 zones filled with missions to play, culminating in an epic boss encounter. This time, Sentry and his dark counterpart, the Void, while completing missions in each zone, your alliance accumulate victory points needed to progress. Defeat the boss to earn shards and unlock this powerful character in your own roster. So there's going to be 2, when you go into the boss battle, and it's going to be timed 5 minutes, and he's going to toggle between Sentry and Void. And when he's in the Sentry mode, he'll spawn heroes, and when he's in the Void mode, he'll spawn villains, and it'll go back and forth. Now, how are we going to get null shards? My understanding is what's going to happen is you're going to have to fight null to get null shards. So there will be some way on an individual basis to participate in the null fight to get null. It's not going to be an alliance event. It's going to be an individual type setting, but it's not going to go into the Battleworld store. So there's going to be some way, and I don't think it's going to be when this goes out. My guess is this is going to go out in about a week and a half. But there in the future, there is going to be a way to get null, but it's going to be requiring fighting null to get null shards. So maybe it'll be like a shards. It'll be a separate area inside of the Battleworld area for individuals to go in. It has nothing to do with alliance. It's not going to be a group activity, group project, or anything like that. So now, as this is a new Battleworld content, we want, I destroy your words, me too. We want to take a moment to go over some of the important updates we'll bring to the Battleworld this time. And to do that, let's start with a brief overview of what we believe Battleworld experience should be. First, Battleworld should be a strong thematic feature as you work your way towards a powerful enemy boss. One could imagine the progress through the zones as the Marvel comic battles leading up to that epic confrontation with the final boss. Second, we want Battleworld to be a feature where your individual effort leads to collective progress, and your alliance working together should net everyone progress on a powerful character unlock. Third, Battleworld should reward you for building a powerful roster or compel you to build a powerful roster by using all of the recently released teams. There should be a strong one-to-one correlation between having the Battleworld team for that Battleworld and making impactful progress. So that Battleworld team is going to be Brimstone. That is why each zone has an elite mission where you can use the latest Battleworld team for progress. Finally, we intend Battleworld to be a feature where alliances focused only on earning boss shards aren't penalized by missing out on progress. At the same time, alliances that want to push further can do so through end of siege rewards. So there's going to be a whole victory points, and I suspect that this is going to be tied to Spec Ops. I don't think we're going to see Spec Ops right away, but if they do bring out Spec Ops, I think it's going to be a bonus thing, but we'll have to see. I think the details are not settled on that. To that end, let's go over some of the major updates you'll see with Sentry City. One of the problems with Battleworld until now is that we initially called a temp system during development. In short, you can only attempt a mission set number of times before you can't try anymore that day. Well, it didn't really work because you could just back out or force close the app. So yeah, it kind of was meaningless, right? Would also lock out characters used regardless of success or failure. So in practice, what that meant is we made mini missions and made them a true challenge, or tried everything out in the ordinary with those missions. Players would be actively disincentivized from trying the content, knowing their most useful characters get locked out. And mostly what happened was if you used like where you're a really good character on the first node and you walk over it, then it's like, well, shoot, you needed Odin on the next node, you're screwed. In Sentry City, all combat missions will have a very important change. Success or failure in a combat mission will not lock that character from being used in other missions. Okay. So that won't be a thing. So we're also increasing the temps across the board, though the exact number is being finalized and lands somewhere between 10 and 20, giving you plenty of attempts to complete a mission without letting you do so indefinitely. So let's look at new Zone 1 for Sentry City. So it looks like they're going to change this to work more like war, but they're not going to lock out the character. So this is in Zone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, Chaos mission, which we're going to go over what that means. But you can see right here, Fantastic Four, which is an excellent team. Brimstone, right? Brimstone's going to be a thing. Mystic and non-Mystic. So there you could use your Mystic raid team, right? Mutant raid team, non-Mythic. Again, raid teams and Blue Marvel seem to be important. Brimstone, raid teams, so got Mutant, Mystic, Villain and non-Mythic, Quasar, Monstar, Chaos team. They don't show all the nodes here. But if we go and look at the data mines in Boilan's video, it looks like they're all tied to raid teams, or a lot of it will be finishable with Brimstone raid teams, Fantastic Four. There was a Secret Warriors call out, but we'll have to see how big of a deal that is. Brimstone's going to be a big deal, and I think because of all the non-mythic call outs, Blue Marvel's going to be a thing. I really think Blue Marvel's going to be a thing in this. So this should be out, I'm guessing, not next week, but the week after, 10 days or so. As you can see, there are now 6 missions, up from 3 in the abyss. There's a new time mission node, which tasks you with using Quasar, Blaster, or both to complete a series of waves in under 90 seconds. This is only possible because neither character is locked out if you fail. If you win, the mission will close itself as normal because you have successfully defeated it for this Battleworld run. That's super interesting. I wonder if it's going to be put on auto and then you target the enemies. I actually think that could be pretty fun. I like the idea there. We'll have to see if it's fun. The idea of it sounds, put it on auto and then target where you want to go and maybe try to, click real quick. I actually think that could be a lot of fun. All missions reward the same victory points, and the total required advanced zones is 5,000 victory points, allowing smaller alliances to make some progress in Sentry City each week. Elite missions in Sentry City require Brimstone or one other team. Brimstone will be the new team for Battleworld. However, they do not gain Battleworld callouts in their kits. For Sentry City, we're trying a new method to help keep the Brimstone kits less complicated by offloading that extra power to the missions in the form of combat mods. Yeah, they could just turn on war, and then that will basically unlock the power of Brimstone. Brimstone destroys everything. That's the title of the video. Yeah, they're insane in war. That's a team I don't think you're going to want to pass on. This also has the interesting side effect of letting us try some really bananas things that aren't strictly speaking balanced, but are contained enough now to throw for fun without breaking everything else and the team can do in a node. And I think what they're talking about there is a lot of different modifiers and things like that. A lot of these modifiers have overlap with what they're doing inside of Danger Room. So they're able to do the modifiers that work or don't work, or they can find out if they work inside of Danger Room, and then they can start applying the Danger Room modifiers at times in other game modes without having it being broken, because it was already screened and tested when we went through Danger Room. And as you know, they don't always work right. And so that you usually the first run of Danger Room, it's a mess, and then the second one it gets sorted out, and so on and so on. There's some iterations of that, and they're going to be implementing some of that iteration work that's already been sorted out in Danger Room. Finally, a new type of mission is the Chaos mission. And Chaos missions, the characters you can use will change periodically, but the mission itself will not, ask you to solve a challenging mission with a new set of characters. So I think, knowing what the Chaos members, might be slightly helpful today, but it's going to be a rolling target. I don't know if I go out of my way. Just knowing what the Chaos members are now, I think it'd be prudent to wait and see how this actually works out. The Chaos team missions are optional, rotate characters semi-regularly, and will generally include the current age release legendary characters at launch. That means Quasar and Blastar. Okay, Quasar and Blastar will be a part of that. 5 characters for the most recently released team, giving you extra value for building new teams. Besides their main role in war, Cosmic Crucial raids, when Sentry launches, these will be the Insidious 6 characters. So I'm actually been liking the Insidious 6 character teams. They seem to be useful in Crucible right now. So they're doing things. I do like Insidious 6 too, mostly because it's an add-on to Infestation. So swapping out Shocker for Green Goblin Classic or whatever, or throwing in Lizard or whatever. There's a lot of things you can do that is really cool about the Insidious 6 team. Up to 8 other characters that have synergy can work together. This group provides some theory crafting each time we change up the Chaos team traits. We're also looking into curating some of these via fan votes or some other methods. There are various challenges into doing this. For the moment, we aren't committing to that, but if that sounds like something fun, let us know. In order to make sure these Chaos missions are interesting over the months of the Chaos team changes, we'll add the ISO 8 poker mods created for the recent Hellfire Club Danger Room. Bring these mods independent of traits, and the focus of the ISO 8 classes of the characters you bring allow you to have a lot of agency and theory crafting possibilities. And I think their intent here is to keep it from being stale. Once they drop Battleworld 2.0, then what, right? Okay, I got to figure it out. Good. Oh, okay, it's repetitious now. Idea here is maybe it won't always be the same, kind of how like Danger Room is not always the same. I think in that regard, Danger Room is a big success. A word about the boss. The boss is Sentry I'm sure, shocked. Learn that Sentry is the Void. I want to spoil the fight by unveiling anything early, but we wanted to pass along some details, help players prepare for the encounter. Well, they've already posted the kit. And I think by reading the kit of the Sentry boss, which is different than the Sentry character, the difference between the Sentry character and the Sentry boss is the Sentry character, when Sentry dies on the other team, Void goes onto your side and screws with your team. That does not happen in the Battleworld. The Battleworld, it toggles between the two, and then the match changes whether you're in Sentry fight mode or Void fight mode. And the most generic example of that is Sentry spawns heroes, Void spawns villains. There's more to it than that, but that's the general idea. First, we remove the character lockout from combat missions. It is still present for the boss. Without this role, the best strategy, we have to attack Sentry 3 times in a row with your best team. So you're going to have 3 Sentry teams, which doesn't sound like very interesting battle to play. Yeah, I agree. Defeated in the boss battle is still subject to 1 per use day roll, so plan your squads accordingly. So you're going to need 3 Sentry teams. Fine. Second, as we did with Null a few months ago, the Sentry boss vote will have a 5-minute timer. I think that's great. There was nothing... It wasn't very fun when we figured out that Astral Mephisto loop where I would turn it on my nightstand and hit auto and it would be running in the morning. Yeah, the score was very high, but people had a hard time losing that match. So one of their remedies to that is to have a 5-minute timer. Third, while Astro is still very powerful in Battleworld, they may not be the best team against Sentry. Be careful and choose your abilities wisely. Ha ha! Well, would you expect anything less? I suspect initially they'll still be pretty good there. We'll have to see. Finally, Brimstone, as the new team for Sentry City, will be powerful against the boss, just as is with the rest of Sentry City. Also, I noticed that the Blue Marvel kit looks like it had some max health damage, which should be good, and hitting that per turn cap of damage. I'm guessing that Blue Marvel will be also very good. The TLDR, don't panic, character lockout has gone from zones. It's still there for the bosses. Brimstone is a star team for Sentry City and worth building up. I suspect, it's not said here, but I suspect Blue Marvel will be in that category also. Chaos missions are meant to be the mostly theory crafting, so don't worry if you can't or don't want to do them. So what they're saying is the Chaos missions are somewhat optional. All right, hope that was helpful. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Bye for now.